Dr. Lee.
And your co-host, Kurt Wilhelm, here on Voice America Real Talk Radio.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for all of you tuning in. We look forward every time we pick a new show about what we're going to be talking about. So,
last week we were talking about juicing, and there's so much information. We're going to continue on some more information on it. Questions like, what about protein? You know, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about that. You know, like, yes, it's great to have plant-based, diet or juicing for health, but what about the protein, the muscle part? And we'll talk about that. We're able to get enough of it with just a vegetarian diet. What about juicing? Should we add anything to it? And also some practical steps, like what kind of juicer should I get?
Absolutely. In fact, I almost ran out there. I definitely bought a juicer, but I almost, after reading some of the research material that Dr. Lee prepared, I almost went out there and purchased a blender, special blender as well.
There are so many choices. It's actually pretty hard to decide. I went through that myself. You know, should I get a blender? Should I get a juicer? And what kind of juicer?
Right.
It's pretty confusing. We're going to shine some light on that since we've gone through that ourselves.
Absolutely. We also want to say thanks to Arizona Laser and Skin, who is the major sponsor for the Ageless Living talk show, and we also thank them for the special offer that they offer to all of our listeners. If you call, actually go to the website azmdlaser.com, or you can call the phone number there. Dr. Lee, the phone number there is?
The phone number is 480-598-9733. In our website, we always have a section of promotional services and products, and we always would love to see you enjoying that.
Absolutely, and you can always call that phone number and schedule a free consultation. So, spend that first visit. Some of you may not realize, you may think you know the industry.
I just want to kind of mention kind of scope of practice what we do. We do health counseling, weight loss counseling, and from acupuncture to aesthetics to Botox and fillers and even cosmetic surgery.
Absolutely. So the full gamut, anything having to do with beauty
and health,
yes. Then they'll take care of that. Having
Especially
to do with your
body.
Yeah, having to do with your body. If it had to do with your clothes, they have referral partners for you.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so
last week we were talking about juicing. Why is it good? And now we're going to say, well, now we know it's good. What about how we get started? What type of a juicer should we get? Basically, the first question related to that is smoothie better or really juice better? Because if you're using a blender, you're keeping all the pulp and the fiber. You're actually getting smoothies instead of squeezed juice. You could squeeze it.
Absolutely, and I would recommend, if you have a pencil and a paper, take note on what Dr. Lee has to say, because I actually used to only be a fan of smoothies. Now I turn into more of a fan of juicing, and based on what Dr. Lee says, you may change your opinion, like I have on the flip-flop on both sides, whichever one you're on.
Well, this is one thing that I think I'm different from many, many other people. I tend to look at things not black and white, good or bad. Everything has two sides.
Sure.
Juice is better or smoothie is better. They both have their own advantages.
She came out with it. I was trying to make it a teaser, but the reality is that's why I got motivated. Even though I have what I feel is the best juicer out there, I actually realized I should probably get the best blender out there, because I'm converted that I should do both.
They're both good, and in order to decide, it's nice to understand what they're good for. Smoothies, if you make smoothies, they'll last longer before you have to drink it or before it goes looking pretty bad.
If I could make a suggestion, they last longer from the standpoint of nutrition. However, they will tend to separate, right? You have a little bit of the
Absolutely.
liquid
Oh,
at the bottom, there'll be a little foam at the top.
Yes.
So my suggestion is they have these little containers that have, it almost looks like some, I don't want to say webbing, but some crisscross. It's like a Tupperware with crisscross in it, and then you put the little top on it. So if people use them to make shakes, but I would say get that shake maker and put your smoothie into it if you're going to use it for lunch or whatever, and then you can shake it up real quick and it's reconstituted.
Good point.
Yeah.
Also, use a glass container. Try to fill it to close to the top,
Mhm.
and seal it so it has air, less air exposure, less oxidation,
Absolutely.
and keep it in fridge, obviously. Yeah.
The reason for glass is some plastics may not be exactly good for you.
Right. And the next advantage is smoothies taste better.
Yeah, they do.
You can.
Hands down.
Yes, you can. I think for all family members, for kids, adults, everybody, in general, it tastes better.
Now, I said hands down, but I want to clarify that really, truthfully, the reason why one of the advantages of juicing, and I know I'm getting ahead of the game, is that you can actually, for about 3 seconds, it's clear liquid. So you can just open up the back of your throat like you did in college when you were downing that beer and you didn't want to
Or
taste
milk.
it. Or milk, yeah, there you go. Milk, similar thing. Just open up the back of your throat and down it. And in 3 seconds, no matter how good or bad it tastes, it's down your stomach.
I like that point.
You bet. Even though some people do recommend chewing your juice, I think they mentioned that in the article.
Right. Chewing your juice is a concept basically saying that you should expose your juice in the mouth for a good amount of time for the enzymes in the saliva to work on it, so you get better value in nutrition.
And I used to be of the opinion, because I've known since I was little, you should chew your food 100 times, and I just rolled my eyes every time. But of course, I was a guy that gained 100 pounds that he shouldn't have gained later, and so when you just take big, huge mouthfuls and throw them into your stomach, essentially, your digestive process isn't right. And so I had the theory is, well, maybe I don't want it to fully digest. Maybe I don't want to absorb all the calories because I love to eat. But that's not true. You need to just choose things that are good for you and start the digestive process from the very start. So chew your juice, get the enzymes in there.
Although they do say that juicing actually is a shortcut in the nutritional digestion, because the blender or the juicer, that's part of it for you, not the whole thing though.
Yes, agreed. So another small trick, if you ever wanted to use it, we learned this in choir when if you wanted to wet your mouth, you chew your tongue, and saliva comes into your mouth, and so you could actually swallow a little bit of that and still just down that juice. Because I've made some juices that are just not tasty, but they're extremely nutritious. So I like to get those down the hatch.
Sure. And another advantage of a smoothie is, excuse me, sugar is absorbed less fast when it's in a smoothie form, because still has the built-in fiber in comparison with the juice.
But keep in mind, that doesn't mean you should be making margarita-style smoothies, that jamming them full of sugar. What that means is the fruit, when you juice, it is almost pure sugar from the fruit when it goes into your body as a juice. So if you actually have the fiber from vegetables combined with the juices, it actually is a slower distribution into your body. But don't think that Dr. Lee is saying to jam yourself full of sugar, your smoothie full of sugar. It's still not a good idea.
Oh, you mean adding sugar to it?
Right. Don't add sugar to
no.
it. There's enough from your juice there's enough sugar in the juice from your fruits without having to add normal sugar.
Another advantage smoothies have over juices is that it's easy to add some supplement, some
Yes.
powder and protein powder and all these other things. It's easier because you're not extracting it.
Correct. We want to look at the amount of time that we have left. If we click the blinking, there we go. Okay, so it looks like it's just about time for break. And so to summarize what we've talked about here is that keep your pen and paper handy, because we're going to talk about the pros and cons of juicing, when you should juice, when you should be having your smoothies, and whatever happens, don't be adding extra sugar. We may be talking about honey later in the show, so stay
Absolutely,
tuned.
yes.
We'll tell you when honey might be a good idea to add.
All right, we'll be right back.